Rampage was the last one.
All right, I'll post to the Discord. Let me quiet this computer here so you can't hear anything over there while I'm typing. Let everybody know we're here.
Yeah, Rampage was the last one, so.
Oh, yeah, I need to go over to that as well. Top 5. Let me just make sure I'm there before we do anything. Alrighty. I'm good to go if you are.
Yeah, hang on. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I was checking the YouTube. It sounds good on my end, so.
All right. Well, here we go in 3, 2, 1. Program is, and we're back for the last top 5 for August of 2025. My name is Jason Robbins.
And my name is Derek Diamond.
So that was a fun month. I don't know about you, but August went by pretty quick.
Yeah, we were talking right before we started. I can't believe that next week starts September.
No.
It's like every month goes by so fast.
For next Monday, I'll be off all day, so that'll be fun.
Same, yeah.
Yeah, Labor Day.
Labor Day, yeah.
Maybe we should take that night off since it's Labor Day and you're not supposed to work.
I mean, I'm up for whatever you want to do.
We'll see. Do you guys care if we take a week off to recharge? Or if you're okay with that, give us a thumbs up on if you're in the chat room or if you're on the Patreon, whatever. If you want us to be here, we'll be here. But if not, we may take the day off and like go see a movie or something.
Ooh, that would be nice.
Yeah, I still got to go see Weapons. Plus, my girlfriend I still got to take her to see Freaky Friday too. So that's 2 movies I got to see right there.
Yeah, I know Samantha's been wanting to see it because we watched the original like a week or so ago, and it's a fun movie. You know, it's not one that I watched when it first came out, but
yeah,
you know, I enjoyed it. I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis is one of my favorite actresses, so if she's in something, I'm gonna watch it.
Oh, of course.
And the trailer for the new one looks good, so I'm sure it'll be good.
Did you see the thread I put out last week? It didn't get any traction, but I was like, man, this was a good joke. Like, you know, Jamie Lee Curtis has been doing the rounds for Freaky Friday or Freaky Friday 2, whatever it's called. And she did a thing where she had like this low-cut dress on and everybody was freaking out because she had big boobs. I was like, how do y'all not know by now that Jamie Lee Curtis has always had them cakes?
I mean, you can go back and watch any movie she's been in.
Dude,
and
kids,
it's pretty obvious.
Let me tell you kids, if you've never seen the movie Trading Places, that was my sexual awakening when I was a kid. It was Jamie Lee Curtis in that movie.
Oh, your wall's falling.
My wall is falling. It's not real brick, everybody. Sorry to disappoint you. No, it's just so hot.
The illusion is
Dude,
the illusion is gone.
I can literally feel the heat coming off this wall next to me. Like the sun is like right there.
It's ridiculous.
It's insane.
We're getting a tease of fall like in the mornings, and it's supposed to be cooler here for the rest of the week in the mornings and in the evenings, but during the day you wouldn't know it.
I forgot this is Jaws 50th this weekend too. I wanted to go see it in a theater.
Oh, that's right.
Too much stuff.
Yeah, Chuck mentioned it in the chat.
Yeah, Chuck. Welcome, Chuck. Rampage. Nick in the chat room, who was here last week. It was awesome having him here for the top 5 last week. But yeah, it's getting to be that season where it's a nice tease of fall in the mornings, but then by 10:30 in the morning, it's basically the third circle of hell outside. So it just teases you. It's just teasing, and I hate it.
When I left work this afternoon, my car thermometer read 102. Like, this is stupid.
Dude, this is like the 80th 100+ degree day in a row. Like, if you don't believe in climate change, there is something horribly wrong with your brain. This is not normal.
Yeah, if you don't believe in it, walk outside.
Rampage. I got to address the chat room for a second. Rampage, are you going to sit here and tell me you've never seen Jaws? Give him a couple
The
seconds.
thing is,
to
I
catch up.
I don't know whether or not to believe him because he could just be trolling.
It's Rampage. He's probably messing with us. I mean, Jaws is like one of those movies that like you have to have at least, accidentally seen it by this point.
It was the original summer blockbuster.
Dude, I remember when I was a kid, it was on TV all the time. Like I think it was on TBS at least 10 times a week when I was a kid.
You know what's cool is a few years ago, it may have been the COVID year or maybe the year before. They did a showing of Jaws here in Pensacola, and they did it on the beach,
Ooh.
and you could actually be in the water and watch the movie. And I'm like, nope,
No.
no.
No, thank you. That is not, dude. Do you want to know how long, as a child, I was scared to go in the water because I thought there was going to be a shark in there, whether it was a toilet or a bathtub or a kiddie pool or a regular pool or even the ocean. I wouldn't go near any water because I thought there would be a shark in there. And let me tell you, as a 47-year-old man, we had a little mini vacation last weekend where we went to we rented a cabin and at a campground, and they had indoor swimming pool, outdoor swimming pool. We went swimming, and let me tell you, as a 47-year-old man, I still think there's a shark in the water because of Jaws.
Yeah, that's well, and especially around here, sharks are swimming closer to the shore
I know.
than they used to. So I mean, I didn't really like getting in the water at the beach anyway, but that just seals the deal for me.
Yeah. Mushmouth in the chat room. Is it too late to submit a list? We are 7 minutes into the show, sir. What do you better hurry. Just message it to me, and I'll read it last because you're so late, sir.
If you give a mouse a cookie, he'll ask for a glass of milk.
Yeah, but I don't know about you, but I'm ready to jump into this top 5 list. What do you say?
Yeah, let's do it.
For the first one, this week was I forget was this Nick that mentioned this one last week?
Yeah, he mentioned it at the end of last week's show.
So this was we got a lot of submissions for this one. It's top 5 games you couldn't beat as a kid, but you can as an adult. So up first, I guess I'll go first this week.
Yeah, go for it.
I have 2 honorable mentions before I actually get to my list. My first honorable mention is Shadowgate for the NES. Shadowgate's one of those games that I loved as a kid, but just could never beat it because unless you have a walkthrough or you have like 6 years to dedicate to that game to figure out what to do, you're not going to finish it. The only way I could finish it was as an adult with a walkthrough for this very show. So that's the only time I've ever beaten that game was when I was reviewing it for this podcast.
I think that's a heck of a start to your list. I mean, I know it's your honorable mention, but it's still a good way to start.
Another one, the last one on my honorable mentions list is Contra. I couldn't beat it as a kid, even with the Contra the Konami code. For some reason, I just don't understand why I'm so much better at playing games than I was when I was a kid. Because I had more time to play games as a kid. Now I have like an hour a week to play video games, but for some reason I can beat these games now. I beat Contra a few years ago. I was actually streaming it when I beat it. I used the Konami code and went through the whole game, and first time I ever did that. And I can beat it now. Just put in the Konami code, I can go through the whole game. Couldn't as a kid, but can as an adult. I don't know.
Seems
how
like
that
streaming
happens.
games is your good luck charm
I know.
for beating games.
What other
Which
stuff?
I'm sure we'll talk about more in a little bit.
There's a lot of games I haven't beaten. Maybe I need to just stream, and maybe I'll actually beat them.
Yeah.
But at my number 5 spot is, of course, Super Mario Brothers, the original. Now, I think I was probably in my 20s before I beat this for the first time, and I think the only reason I beat it is because somebody actually showed me how to get through the final castle. When I was a kid, I I couldn't figure out the pattern to actually get through the castle because it's a maze. And if you don't know the correct way to get through the castle, you're just going to keep going in circles. So I never actually beat the game when I was a kid until I was an adult.
I still have yet to beat the original Super Mario Brothers. I've come close, but I've like you, I just when I get to that final castle, I just cannot get past it.
I
There's just
mean,
something that always completely derails me, and then I have to stop playing.
unless you actually know where you're going, which pipes to take, you will get lost in that
Yeah.
game.
One
No,
day I will.
yeah, oh, I mean, it's not hard. Just go look at a YouTube video, and you'll be like, oh, and it's very easy to memorize. But if you don't know it, it's like you're just gonna go in circles for hours.
First, I got to take the warp pipes.
Yeah, exactly. Number 4, Castlevania for the NES. I didn't beat it for the first time until a few years ago, and basically I could get to Dracula as a kid, but I never could beat him. And it wasn't until I read strategy on how to beat him and watched a couple of YouTube videos. It still took me a while to learn how to beat him, but when you have the Castlevania collection on the Switch, you can save and go back, and basically keep doing something over and over again, have a save point. Back in the day, we didn't have save points. You had to play the whole game in one sitting.
Yeah, there's quite a few games that I'm in that same situation where you didn't really have the ability to save until it was re-released later on as part of a collection or like a remaster where you can actually save. And then it makes it a lot easier, but I don't know, it's just like I don't have the time to sit in one sitting and try to beat a game.
Mm-mm.
Not like when I was a kid.
At my number 3 spot, this is another kind of cheat because I couldn't beat this game originally on the Super Nintendo. I couldn't beat it in the arcade, especially, but couldn't beat it on the SNES. I couldn't beat it until I got the Capcom collection and was streaming it. And it was actually the arcade version of this game was Final Fight. And the only way I could beat the game is because the people at Capcom were nice enough to give you unlimited continues on the game to be able to finish it.
I guess they're getting soft in their old age.
Yeah. I guess they don't hate us as much now that we're adults. They only hated us as kids. Now we're adults with money, and they're like, hey, we're going to make this easy on you.
Yeah, and some of it, when you get older, you tend to mellow out a little bit. So they're like, you know what? Maybe we were a little harsh. Here's a reward. It's a kitty.
He wanted to come in and say hi if you're watching on the video. Say hi, kitty. Hey, kitty, kitty.
Our subscriptions just tripled.
Yeah. He looks so mad in the camera.
It's all right.
At number 2, actually, this one was the impetus for starting this very podcast. It was early 2016.
July of 2016, yeah.
Yeah, we started this show, and I think it was around March of that year or May. I had just begun to get back into collecting for the NES, and one of the first games that I reacquired at a flea market was Mega Man 2, and I started to play it a lot for the NES, and then I looked up the some of the strategies for the game, and Mega Man 2, Mega Man games are basically just rock, paper, scissors, and if you play it in the correct order, it becomes pretty manageable. So I was able to beat Mega Man 2 on the NES, the original NES cart, in 2016, and because of that, you have 400 episodes of Nerd Cave Retro at this point, because as soon as I finished that game, I was like, you know what? I want to do a retro gaming podcast, and I got a hold of Mr. Derek Diamond over there, and here we are almost 10 years later.
432 episodes and counting.
Yes.
For a Nerd Cave Retro.
Actually, probably almost 500 if you count all the Patreon stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
And my number one, this should be a surprise to no one that has followed the show, Ninja Gaiden for the NES. Could not beat this as a kid, was impossible. Never thought you actually could beat this game, but I found out you could as an adult. And I watched Mr. Arcus, who had the world record for a long time. He actually put out a tutorial on how to beat the game. And I followed that tutorial and was able to finish this game finally during the pandemic. And what, 2021 was it that I finally beat Ninja Gaiden on stream?
Yeah, it had to have been 2020 or 2021, but I remember it was during the day, and it was myself, I think Rampage and a few other people that are in our inner circle group watched it happen.
And I'm not going to lie, it was one of the most exciting moments of my life. Like, I literally felt like I won the Super Bowl or something. Like, I know how they feel when they win a Super Bowl, because I was just like, I never in a million years thought I'd be able to beat that game. And I did it. I beat the game that haunted me for 30 years.
There was something in the air that day, because I know you had tried several times to beat it. And there was something in the back of my mind that said, today it's going to happen. And sure enough, it did.
And then once you beat it, it's like you kind of, it's one of those things where once you beat it, it's like almost like they get over that mountain. And then it just becomes sort of not easy, but doable. Like, I can beat that game every time I sit down to play it now.
Well, and it's not as intimidating either, because it's like you get to that certain point, and then once you do, you realize that maybe it's not as difficult as you thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's like there's several games, and there's a couple that I'm going to mention in my list too that are like that, where it's almost like the aura or the facade of the toughness of that particular part of the game is gone.
And honestly, I feel like games now, I can pretty much finish any game that I play. And it doesn't feel like there's that impossibility factor that games used to have. I feel like now, if I get a game, I can sit down and finish that entire game. Like, that's not a out of the realm of possibility. Like, because they give you like difficulty settings and all that kind of stuff. You can play games on easy or story mode and just get through the story. You're going to be able to finish these games, but they weren't like that when we were kids. Games were like, you had to be a special kind of kid to beat some of these games. Like, I didn't know anybody that could beat Ninja Gaiden or Mega Man or any of these games. Like, we played them until literally we just got bored or our thumbs started hurting, and then we just stopped, and then we came back a couple days later and played them again and did the same cycle over and over again. But not many people could beat these games.
Yeah, I remember when the internet first really became a thing, and I want to say it was the early 2000s is when I discovered GameFAQs.com, and that was like, it was like the Wizard of Oz when Dorothy goes into Oz and everything turns from black and white to color. It's like, now I know how I can beat some of these games, because if you don't have the strategy guide, you're kind of just going at your own whim.
Yep.
And you're just going to have to figure it out on your own. And a lot of times you don't. But
that's the end of my list. What you got, Derek?
All right. So no honorable mentions for me this week. I'm sure there's some that I'll think of probably like 30 seconds after we get finished with the podcast. But starting at my number 5 is one that I loved to play as a kid, but I couldn't get past Shredder. And it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time. Basically, I could get to the point where you are supposed to go back in time, but to beat Shredder, you have to throw the enemies at him, because basically he's in the foreground in this giant machine, and I had no clue what to do. So once I figured that out, the rest of the game, I don't want to say it was easy, but it was less challenging than that. like kind of like you were saying with the end of Ninja Gaiden. And then as an adult, I got to play it again. Once I figured that out, I was able to get through the rest of it. And I love that game because it's really like a who's who of the Ninja Turtles universe because it has so many of the characters from the cartoon and whatever iterations of the Turtles were around up to that point.
Yeah.
So that was a really satisfying thing to finally beat that.
Such a good game, though. It even, like you said, when you're playing that part against Shredder, where you're throwing the Foot Clan at the screen, it's such a weird mechanic, which doesn't seem that weird now, but at the time, it was like, how do you wrap your head around that? And I think that's why these kind of things were so difficult. It's like Battletoads. Battletoads did that same kind of thing in the first level of that game. And it's kind of like once you figure it out, it's doable, but it's still kind of rough, especially when you're a kid because you get nervous and you're like, "Ugh!"
What do I do? What do I
Yeah,
do? What
exactly.
do I do? Yeah. Number 4, I enjoyed watching my uncle play this game as a kid, and then I tried it myself, and I really liked it. I think it's one of the best Super Nintendo games of all time, but I was terrible at this game as a kid. Super Metroid is my number 4. Man, I tell you, when I finally beat this game, it had to have been a few years ago, maybe like a year before COVID. I sat down and I said, I'm gonna beat this game, and eventually I did.
I think we both did around the same time, didn't we?
That sounds right.
'Cause
Yeah, I want to say it was 2019 when that
Yeah.
happened because it was one of those things that I hadn't really thought about Super Metroid in a while and wanted to see if I could beat it.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know how if you've played a Metroid game, you know the formula. It can be very tedious. It can be intimidating because you don't really know where you're going. But once you figure that out, it's such a satisfying
Yeah.
ending. And plus, the adrenaline you have when you're trying to escape the planet before it explodes, and it met my expectations as far as an ending goes.
Yeah.
Number 3 is an RPG that, again, loved it as a kid, but I couldn't get past a certain point. And I'm ashamed to say it was fairly early in the game. It's Secret of Mana, one of my favorite RPGs for the Super Nintendo. Early in the game, you go to this witch's castle in like a cursed or a lost woods from Link to the Past. And you don't fight the actual witch, you fight her pet tiger. And I could not beat that thing as a kid. And then once I got past that point, it all kind of there are more challenging and more difficult bosses, especially the final one.
Yeah.
But once I beat that game as a kid and got to see, or once I beat it as an adult, getting to see the story from start to finish was very satisfying. And what I really liked about that game is that it kind of teaches you that even when you win, there are losses and sacrifices along the way because it is a happy ending, but it's at the expense of a couple of characters' lives,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
That would actually be a good. I was just thinking it'd be a good topic for a roundtable discussion. Is games that had a difficulty spike way too early that kind of ruined their reputation.
Ooh,
Because
that's a
I
good
can
one.
think of some
I
right
like that.
offhand, like the original Ninja Turtles game. I think a lot of people hate that game because of the dam level. That was like right up front. If you couldn't get past it, you couldn't experience hardly any of the game. But once you got past it, the game wasn't that terrible until you got to the very end. Then it became a maze, like ending of Super Mario Brothers. What was another one I was thinking of? I just had it in my head a second ago, and now I forgot.
I'll have to sit and think about that one. But that'd be a good roundtable. I like that.
Oh, what was
Number
it?
2,
Now I'm going to be thinking about that for the next 10 minutes. I'm like, what was I thinking of?
while you do that, I'll fill time.
All right.
My number 2, this might shock people, but I never beat this game as a kid until it was re-released for Sonic Origins, where you could actually save the game. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, one of my favorite games of all time, could not beat it for the life of me as a kid because it was one of those games that you had to play it in one sitting because you couldn't save it. But thankfully, with re-releases, it gave you the ability to do that. And then I finally did. And it was it made me so happy. Almost as happy as my number one.
Yeah, the freaking water level in that game, man, is
Yeah, oh yeah, Chemical Plant.
yeah, chemical
And there's a
plant.
couple of other ones, yeah.
Oh, Lion King is what I was thinking of.
Yeah, I've tried to push that out of my mind.
That was what another one that popped in my head is like had a really high difficulty spike right at the beginning of the game.
And Nick says Battletoads.
Yeah, that one too.
Yeah,
Battletoads.
that's a good one too.
That would be a good discussion.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
I think so. One of my favorite I'll tell a quick Sonic 2 story and then I'll get to my number 1. One of my favorite moments at my old job was during the pandemic, we didn't have a baseball season, so we would show like movies and do like trivia nights and whatnot. And one of the movie nights, we showed the first Sonic movie. And leading up to that, because we opened up the gates an hour before the movie started, we figured out a way to hook up my Genesis Mini to our video board, and I played Sonic 2 on the board.
Dude, that's awesome.
It was really cool.
Dude, you know what I want
It
to
was
do?
really cool to do that.
We should do a Nerd Cave Retro get together and let's go rent a video movie theater and hook up some video game systems to it. I'm sure you can
Oh,
do
could
that.
you imagine playing Halo in the theater?
How awesome would that be? Dude, let's go play some Mario Kart and some Smash Brothers.
You ain't got to twist my arm to do that.
I'm for it. Oh, and Nick
I mean,
says, that damn zone in the sky always got me in Sonic 2.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of frustrating levels in that game, but it's a lot of fun. But just imagine like the theater lights dimming and you hear oh, it would be so cool.
That'd be awesome.
But my number one, and I touched on this I think last week or the week before. It's the original Legend of Zelda. I'll go ahead and say that. Couldn't beat it as a kid, but to be fair, I didn't play it a ton. Like my experience with the original Legend of Zelda was limited because I didn't play it until the near end of the NES's run. But in the summer of 2004, I I found The Legend of Zelda re-released for the Game Boy Advance as part of the NES Classic series. And I said, I'm going to beat this game. And eventually, months down the road, I did.
Mm.
And much like if no one's seen it, when Jason beat Ninja Gaiden on his Twitch stream, he had this look of pure joy on his face. That's pretty much what happened to me when I saw Ganon turn to a pile of ash and you see the Triforce of Power laying on top of it. I've never been more satisfied
Yeah.
than that. If we were to do top like moments that left you satisfied, that would probably be my number one.
Yeah, this game I didn't even beat until I was still a teenager when when I beat it, but I didn't beat it until I had it for the original NES, played it, got pretty far into it, kind of dropped off of it until the Super Nintendo came out, and then of course Link to the Past came out, and I played through it like 2 times in a row. And so after that I went back and played the original on the NES, and I think by that time I don't remember how I got it. I borrowed it from somebody, but it was the strategy guide for Legend of Zelda, and that's how I was able to get through the game was the strategy guide. So I just remember only beating it that one time when I was like probably 15 or 16 years old at the time, And I haven't beaten it again since because that game is long for an
It
NES
is.
game. It's like it takes at least, if you were to play it straight through, it would probably take you about 12 hours.
You know what's weird is that Link to the Past, even though it is a longer game than the original Legend of Zelda, it doesn't feel as long.
Mm-mm.
And I think because Mushmouth says, I don't think I ever beat the original Legend of Zelda, but damn, do I love that game.
Yeah.
It's not easy to beat because it's very tedious. But like
Mhm.
with Link to the Past, I think because there's a little bit more story to follow, you have the contrast between Hyrule and the Dark World
Yeah.
that makes things a little more interesting. The dungeons are very challenging, especially those Dark World ones.
Yeah.
Like whenever I played through it a month or so ago, I'd almost forgotten how long, especially Turtle Rock, how like really tedious it can be to get through that.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but a lot of times you got to go through and collect all the stuff you're going to need to go through. And it becomes a grind fest sometimes to get through that game. And don't get me wrong, I love that game, but I just don't have the time to go back and play it. But if they were to remake it in the Link's Awakening engine that they did a while back, just remake that whole game, give you some quality of life upgrades in that game, I think I would probably play through. I would definitely play through it again, 100%.
I'm a little surprised that neither Link to the Past or Ocarina of Time has gotten like a big remaster.
It's
Especially Ocarina of Time because of how popular that game was when it came out. Because
dude,
it had a lot of hype behind it.
it's Nintendo. They don't want our money.
I know. But it's one of the easiest money makers they could do.
Yep.
But for some reason they won't do it. I'm hoping since next year is the 40th anniversary of the launch of the franchise that they'll do something.
I would be
But who knows?
surprised, but I mean, we were expecting something for the 35th, and they didn't really do anything. And it's kind of like, what are y'all doing, Nintendo? It's like arguably your biggest franchise is Legend of Zelda, other than Mario, and you do nothing with it except give us a game every couple of years. But like, you have so much history there that you could just give us the same games all over again, just in a new engine, and we're dumb enough to go pay for them, or at least I am.
You know what kind of sucks about the Legend of Zelda movie is it's coming out in 2027,
Mm.
a year after the 40th anniversary. But I mean, the same thing happened
Yeah.
with Sonic.
Yeah, yeah.
They could have waited. They could have waited a year to release the first movie, and it would have came out. And I believe the 30-year anniversary.
Yeah. Oh well.
I don't know. Maybe I focus too much on that kind of stuff, but I don't know. I like tie-ins because to me it makes
Yeah.
like 40 years is a big deal. Like, can you imagine how big? Because in 2027, Star Wars turns 50.
Mhm.
Can you imagine all the crap that's going to happen with that?
Dude, I'm ready.
Same.
What makes me
They've already
weirded
said they're going to
out?
re-release the movie.
You know what makes me weirded out? Star Wars is almost 50 years old. Dude, when I was
Mhm.
a kid, when Star Wars came out, 50 years before that was 1927.
Yeah.
The roaring 20s.
The Roaring Twenties, see?
Yeah, see? I'm getting old, man. I don't like it.
Yeah. But anyway, those are my top 5 games that I could not beat as a kid, but I can as an adult.
Awesome. Well, before I go into your top 5 list, Derek, would you like to do our Patreon shout outs?
I suppose so. As always, we like to shout out our awesome patrons over at patreon.com/nerdcaveretro. We want to shout out our newest patron, Brady Sherwood, which is a fantastic name, by the way. So welcome, Brady, to our Patreon family. Riley, Romaldo Marquez, the official NCR fact checker and dungeon master, Mr. Wally Phelps, Nick W., a.k.a. Nick the Horror Game Fan, Eld the Zombie, Yup Fed, aka Knife, James, aka at Jimbo Jr. on our Discord, Raven, Danny House, Daniel Salmon, aka Bethany Fox, our amazing Discord community manager, and happy belated birthday
Yes.
to Mr. Daniel Salmon.
Happy birthday.
Birthday! Mr. B-Res Coffee himself, Mike Eveland, the fact checker to the fact checker, Tyler the Wordsmith Watson, Axeblade07, the official NCR beat writer Armez Jackson, Carlos Longoria, better known as I Am the Rampage, Staff Sergeant Sketch, Gus and Penny, Matthew Salmon, Joey the American Salad, violinist, pianist, and overall enjoyer of music, Image. And yes, no Zoom, I am not playing music. So don't ask me again. And of course,
Mama Diamond.
Donna Diamond, thank you so much for your continued contributions and keeping the lights on for us here at the Nerd Cave Retro Podcast. We say this ad nauseum. For as little as $1 a month, you get your own RSS feed with zero ads. If you want to listen to conversations like this from start to finish, all it costs is $1 a month. And you get early access to our bonus episodes like the Nerd Cave Retro Quest Dungeons and Dragons campaign, numerous commentary tracks from animated shows like Darkwing Duck, Sonic the Hedgehog, DuckTales, full-length movies like Clue, Christmas Vacation. The list is near endless. I know we've got some ideas in the works, but I know for this month we're going to be doing a bonus top 5 list for the Patreon listeners.
Oh, and is it Mama Diamond's birthday?
No, it was a couple of weeks ago. I forgot to take that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, what's funny is her birthday is exactly 1 week before mine.
For some reason, I just forgot. I thought hers was a week after yours.
No, it's a week before.
Okay.
But yeah, if you want to be a part of our awesome Patreon community, just head over to patreon.com/nerdcaveretro. And for new patrons, be sure to send us your social media info so we can give you a proper shout out.
And let me play this for our intro.
Come out to the coast. We'll get together. Have a few laughs.
And up
I
first,
love that line.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch that again for Christmas. Let's see. Up first in our email, we have Mr. Armez Jackson, who says, well, 2 of these games I finally beat recently. My honorable mentions are Pro Wrestling NES. Played this for a solid month straight before I finally beat the Great Puma. I don't remember.
What a cool name, the Great Puma.
The Great Puma.
That was one of the black box games, right?
Was it? Yeah, it was. I think I have that. I've just never played it. Or have I played it?
Yeah, I haven't played it either.
I don't remember. I have to go back and check. See if I've played it before. Let's see.
I know I haven't.
Tecmo World Wrestling, NES. NES. Took me about 3 weeks for this one. That Blue King and that damn Northern Right suplex, Royal Octopus hold, and Giant Swing had me rage quitting over and over. We might have to play this, Derek.
Yeah, the
great.
Royal Octopus hold sounds amazing.
Gradius 3 for the Super Nintendo. I was so pissed. Some of those levels are crazy with the speed and reaction time, but that last boss was an absolute joke. Still mad about that crap.
I keep forgetting that there's multiple Gradius games.
There's like 85 of them.
I'm sure 86 will probably come out next year.
I'm sure. He says, okay, my top 5 are 5, Rambo for the NES. I still can't believe he finished this game. All I can say is rage quitting while fighting that damn flying fortress boss is completely understandable. Total nightmare. I don't know how you did it. That game is... You think Ninja Gaiden's hard? Rambo is impossible.
He should stream that. Or
He should have.
Yeah. That'd be... Yeah, that's impressive.
4, TMNT for the NES. I personally love this game. It was tough for me when I was younger because I thought I had to go through and look through every building manhole. Now I know better. That's the secret to that game, too. If you know where to go, that game is not that long.
No, I'll never forget when you streamed this game during the pandemic and you had me on like I wasn't on screen, but I was on your audio feed
Yeah.
and you asked me where to go and I pointed out to this building and then you just got like completely destroyed and I felt terrible. I'm like, whatever I do, just say the opposite.
I miss doing that where we would stream and have each other as commentary while we were doing it.
Oh, yeah.
I was on yours for Link to the Past. I miss doing that.
Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun.
Number 3, Deja Vu for the NES. I was completely lost and there were no walkthroughs, tips, or tricks in any magazine back then. I ended up in jail all the damn time because of the evidence I didn't know I needed to dump. It's a great noir story, though. I really would like to play that. I think I did play that not too long ago. Did I? I don't really. We're to the point I can't even remember what games I've done for this show.
If you do play it again, would you feel deja vu?
Probably. Ooh. Number 2, Rocket Knight Adventures for the Genesis. Konami hard at its finest. The controls, gameplay, and music kept me from smashing my controller. I got it down now, but as a kid, I never wanted to take this back fast enough, but I kept renting it. Number 1, Super Punch-Out for the SNES. This is one of those games where it's easy for me to get sidetracked from beating fighters to going for the fastest times. Heike Kagero was my nemesis on this one. I also thought Rick Bruiser was more difficult than his brother Nick.
I don't think I've played Super Punch-Out.
I played it a couple
From what I
times,
can
but I
remember.
never played it all the way through.
I think it's on the Switch online shop.
I think so.
One of these days I'll give it a try. Now moving on to our Discord from Nick the Horror Game Fan, who came up with the idea for this list. Number 5, Mega Man X. I was never able to get past the mechanical spider. It wasn't until a few years ago that was to finally not only conquer the mechanical spider, but I was able to beat the game a few years ago. And as we've mentioned this, a couple of times on this episode, there's that one point that you can't get past.
Yep.
And when he said mechanical spider, all I can think of is the Kevin Smith Wild Wild West story. Number 4, Dragon Warrior. I had this as a kid for the NES, but I never knew where to go or where to find any of the magical items. I beat it for the first time ever back in 2012. Number 3, Link's Awakening. This wasn't really a skill issue with this one, but I could never figure out where the key was to get into the 4th dungeon. I'm trying to remember what the 4th dungeon was.
I don't remember.
I'm sure it'll come to me. Number 2, Baldur's Gate. I had the big box 5-disc set for PC back in the day. 5 discs?
Yeah.
Wow. I could never really figure out how to play it until I was much older. And number 1, Resident Evil Code Veronica X. I could never get past the tyrant boss fight on the cargo plane without using Game Shark. I finally managed to beat it for the first time ever back in 2017 on PS4. I recently beat it again on Series X. Such a great, underrated Resident Evil game.
I played Code Veronica not too long ago. That game's hard. I wish they would. I think they're remaking it, which is a good thing.
Oh, Nick says the anglerfish. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Let's see. Brandon, the Emerald Coast fact checker at Picola Asian in our Discord. His honorable mentions are Street Fighter 2, various versions. M. Bison is a tough customer, regardless of the version. True. Battleship for the NES. It got easier once I realized that I had other weapons that allow multiple targets in a single turn. I never played Battleship for the NES.
I haven't either.
I might have to get that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time, had a great time pulling off this feat with my wife. Kung Fu, easy once you played it enough times. That's another one. Kung Fu, when I played it as a kid, never could beat it, but now as an adult, you can just fly through that game. There's only like 5 levels to it. There's nothing to that game at all.
Isn't that demoralizing in a way when there's
Yeah.
those games you couldn't beat as a kid and then you play through it as an adult and you're like, what was I
Yeah,
doing?
exactly.
That's how I felt with Super Mario Land.
Yeah. And his last honorable mention, Streets of Rage. Shout out to the Genesis Mini for giving me the time to beat this game, as I never owned a Genesis as a kid and still don't to this day, sadly. And at number 5, Capcom versus SNK 2. Even with the easier version on GameCube, I couldn't reach Shin Akuma or Ultimate Rugal, and even as an adult, they are very hard to beat. 4, Fighter's History. Could never get past the first 2 fights as a kid, but Switch Online allows me to revisit this game. 3, The Punisher. Never got far in the arcade. Managed to beat this recently on Marvel vs. Capcom collection with my best friend Miguel. Did you ever play The Punisher for the NES? That game is impossible.
Yeah, it sounds like Punisher and Rambo should be in a tier all to themselves.
Well, it's a first-person shooter game or a third-person shooter game on the NES, and it's like, what is happening here? This is not the platform for this type of game.
Yeah, I don't know about putting a shooter on the NES unless it's Duck Hunt.
Yeah, and it had the LJN warning label as well.
Say no more.
Number 2, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Speaking of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I could never reach Abyss as a kid, but boy, did it feel good to beat him when I was in my 20s.
Did you take him for a ride?
Yeah. And as number 1, Double Dragon 2: The Revenge. Despite still owning the cartridge since childhood, it wasn't until well after I got the NES Mini that I finally defeated this beat-em-up treasure.
Good list, Brandon.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Knife. I don't know if this is in any particular order, but Mario 64, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I somehow beat Silver Surfer on NES once and have no clue how.
Please tell me how.
Yes. We gots to know.
I don't remember if I actually reviewed it for the show. Yeah, I did. I actually reviewed it for the show. I don't think I got past the first level.
Yeah, I think that was one of your points of contention with it.
Like, how do you play this game? It's impossible.
Call of Duty Roads to Victory, a PSP exclusive, and Twisted Metal 2. Side note, the TV show on Peacock is absolutely fantastic if you know the lore of Twisted Metal.
Yes. Twisted Metal, the show, is great if you've never seen it. And also my buddy Brent, who played the Wolfman in my movie Monsters Anonymous, was also in the last episode of Twisted Metal for season 1. He played the Milkman.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
I didn't even know he never told me he was in it. I was just sitting there watching it, and then I did the Leonardo DiCaprio thing where I was sitting on the couch and I'm like, hey, that's Brent. I texted him. I was like, hey, you didn't tell me you were in Twisted Metal.
That was a nice surprise.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You're up next.
I'm up next. I'm sorry. I got sidetracked, everybody. Riley 5 Nation says, this was a hard one because I was not as adventurous with my games as a kid, so I beat most that I played with little trouble. Nintendo didn't throw a lot of curveballs in the late 90s, early 2000s, so my list is a lot that I finished as an adult for some reason or another, so kind of in the same spirit as with the list. He says, in no specific order. Legends of Zelda Spirit Tracks. I played the demo as a rep when I worked in electronics at a big box store and didn't own a DS. So a decade later, I got a hold of it. Still loved it. I never played Spirit Tracks. Did you play Spirit Tracks?
It's one of the few Zelda games I have not played. I think it was Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass, I think, were the 3DS games. They're sequels to Wind Waker, like they're in the same kind of animation style, but I've never played them.
I'm in that mood right now. I might actually look and see if I can find a copy of this somewhere.
No, you should.
GTA San Andreas, played as a kid and always put cheat codes in, never actually finished until college. Did you put in the hot coffee cheat code, sir? Is that what you did?
If you know, you know.
J Funktastic, a.k.a. Gramps, this is for you. Resident Evil 4. I'm man enough to admit this game scared me. a lot until the ripe old age of 30. I replayed the remaster on PS4 and got through. Fantastic game and felt good to finally get myself through it in the daylight, obviously. Hey, don't feel bad. I had to actually stop. One of the games that scared me the most was Silent Hill 2 for the PlayStation 2. I actually had to stop playing that game because it was giving me vivid nightmares after a
I
few
remember
days
you
of
talking
playing it.
about that. Yeah.
So don't feel bad. Let's see. Dust and Elysian Tale. This is a great Steam game that I finally beat on the Switch port version. I had barely used my Steam account and lost all the progress to a handful of games. Perfect Dark. His last one is Perfect Dark for N64. Lent it to a friend before I played very much of it, as I had other games in my queue. And drumroll, it never got returned. How many games have we all lost because of games never getting returned from a friend? Lots, I would
Too
think.
many.
Got it at a local retro store maybe a year ago and finally got to beat it at only the age of 35.
Funny enough, I've never beat Perfect Dark. I really like that game, but that's cool though.
I heard that the remake they were doing recently got canceled.
Yes, it did.
I heard that just a few days ago. Like, what are you guys doing?
I don't know what's going on with Rare right now. I know they're shopping. I mean, we talked about the Banjo-Kazooie story
Yeah.
a few weeks ago, where they're kind of shopping their properties to other developers. So it's sad.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
And we got one from one of our newer members here.
Yes, Mr. Gunclapped Sushi, one of my favorite names on the Discord. His honorable mentions: Majora's Mask. I'm not the most Zelda guy, but those games can still be hard. Zombies Ate My Neighbors. That game is so long, and eventually your resources start to die out. I can't let a game beat me, though, so as an adult, I said no more. And Ninja Gaiden Black on the original Xbox. Number 5, Code Veronica. Well documented, but this game at times feel like a punishment.
Yeah.
Not a fun experience. No ammo. Bosses requiring certain items and ammo. Healing items are sparse, and sometimes the zombies lunge and are way too accurate and fast.
Yes.
All things we have all thought about the game, but as the Resident Evil fan I am, I couldn't let this one win. And I eventually sat down with my mom in adulthood, and we beat it together over a few days. That's really cool.
That's cool.
She is the reason I'm a Resident Evil fan, and we used to play them together as a kid.
See, my mom doesn't play video games anymore, but when I was a kid, we used to play Super Mario Brothers 2 together all the time. That's like some of my best memories as a kid, is playing Super Mario
yeah.
Brothers 2 with my mom.
That's awesome. Number 4, any F-Zero game. Cheating a bit, maybe, but I can't be the only one whose childlike reflexes failed him in these games, especially GX. They fail me as an adult, too.
Yeah, don't feel bad.
The best F-Zero is also the hardest. Bring back F-Zero, Nintendo. We want it.
Well said, sir. Well said.
Number 3, Donkey Kong 64. I remember me and my buddy doing a week straight of this game because we both never beat it. And I'm talking in our mid-20s. 2 adult men taking time off work to marathon Donkey Kong 64 to completion. That damn NES token layer, and we rolled credits. What a memory.
Yeah.
Number 2, Ghosts and Goblins. Tough as nails, of course, but man, this game seems like it was coded by pure evil sometimes. The jump in this game is a cruel joke. Took me 25 years, but I have seen the end. And number 1, Ocarina of Time. Sometimes those Zelda games still stump me. You can have a pretty tough solutions to those puzzles. Satisfying game to beat in either adulthood or childhood.
And you got to be a special person to finish Ghosts and Goblins, because you play through the whole game, and that's not the end. You got to go through the whole game again to get the real ending, and that's just insanity.
That is evil, is what that is.
And up next, we have I Am the Rampage. He says, dishonorable mentions: Contra, Punch-Out, Battletoads for the NES. I don't think I'll ever beat Battletoads. There's no way.
No.
No way. Number 5, Batman, NES. Why is this game so hard? It's a great game, but man, is that game... It's like they took Ninja Gaiden, and they're like, how do we make this even harder? and make it Batman. Okay, I know what we can do. We can make the Joker 3 times his size and be able to summon lightning. I mean, that's the Joker power we all know he has, is the power to summon lightning.
I mean, there is a secret to beating that game, though. All you have to do is just dance with the devil in the pale moonlight.
Yes, exactly.
And that gives you like infinite lives, infinite batarangs. That's all you need.
Want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Let's get nuts.
Number 4, Mega Man 1. I really had a hard I need to go capture that. That's going to be a great capture to have for a soundboard.
Yes.
Mega Man 1. I really had a hard time with this one. Mega Man 2 was such a polished game in comparison that I never really went back to try to beat MM1. I have since beaten all the games in the main franchise, Mega Man 2 through 8. I have yet to play 9 and 10. Mega Man X1 through X8, except 7. Mega Man Legends 1, 2, and 3. Can you tell I love Mega Man? I never bothered much with the Battle Network series because turn-based, bleh.
Yeah, one of these days I'll go through and play some of the Mega Man games besides Mega Man X.
Yeah, well, Mega Man 11's great for the Switch. I love playing Mega Man 11. I beat it too. Number 3, Castlevania 1. I have since beaten this game as an adult, but I sucked at this game as a kid. Although I beat Super Castlevania 4 first, since it's the easiest in the franchise. I wouldn't necessarily say it's the easiest, but it's definitely a little more manageable than the NES version.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Number 2, Ghosts and Goblins and or Ghouls and Ghosts. I have yet to dedicate the time to actually beat this game. It's so frustrating. Number 1, Vector Man. I still haven't beaten this game yet. I still haven't beaten this game yet. I always struggle with this one. One day, I'll taste victory.
And it'll taste so
It'll
sweet.
taste so
when it
sweet.
happens. Did Mushmouth send his list in?
Yeah, he did. You want me to put it in
Okay.
right here? Or you want to...
I was going to say, if you want, since this next one is really short, I'll read the next 2, and then you can end with Mushmouth.
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah.
Okay. From Facebook, Brian Sy, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. That is his
it.
list.
That's his list.
Yep. Josh Hartman. Well, I still can't beat TMNT on NES, but number 5 is Mario 2 on NES. I love this game so much, and it's my favorite Mario game on the NES. Suck at Mario 3. It's.
Hey.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's better than 2 or better than 3, but I love Super Mario Brothers 2. It's
Same.
There's nothing wrong with that game whatsoever.
No, not at all. It's easy, but I don't know why I could beat it before. Number 4 is Zelda 2 on the NES. I see a trend, LOL. But I know the whole leveling up thing didn't quite click with me when it came out, but it has amazing music, so I always watched my sister play when I sucked at it. Number 3 is X-Men for the Genesis. I love the X-Men in this game, but with no strategy guide, so the whole restarting the system BS was BS, LOL. Number 2 is Resident Evil 2 on the N64. Again, maybe it was just me sucking, but when it was first out, I couldn't beat it. The N64 version is amazing, by the way. And number 1 is Beast Wars Transformers because it's not fair. It still isn't fair. Love the show. Screw this game.
Chuck, what do you mean my list is the GIF I left? What GIF are you talking about, sir? I looked. The only GIF I see in the Discord is the Eminem. He says, lose? Question mark, question mark. He said, I'm pretty awesome. So I guess you win every game. Is that what you're trying to say, good sir? Mm-hmm.
I guess so.
And up next, we have Mr. Mushmouth himself at MushmouthTB with his late entry 10 minutes into the show. But you just made it in, buddy. You just made it under the wire. Says The Lion King. I don't know if this counts because I save stated my whole way through, but yeah, screw this game. But I finally saw it all the way through. Nothing wrong with save states. If that's how you got to beat a game, it's how you got to beat a game.
It's how I beat Sonic 2.
Kingdom Hearts. I would get to the fight with Ansem, which is right at the end, and he'd beat me every time. I have since beaten him, but I'll never forget playing through this whole game just to consistently get done in right at the end. Let's see. And that's how I felt about Ninja Gaiden for years. Crash Bandicoot. I'd always get somewhere after the fight with the buff koala and then just give up. This is a great game, but it gets so hard.
It does. I still haven't beat the original Crash Bandicoot,
really?
actually.
Hmm.
No, I've beat the sequels, but not the original.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2. 3 words. Barrel of Doom. I was one of the people absolutely destroyed and filtered by this barrel. Beat it this year. I don't remember
Sweet.
the barrel. What barrel?
What was the Barrel of Doom?
That had to be after the chemical plant because I can't get past the chemical plant.
I'll look it up while you finish
Okay.
reading his list.
And his last one, Super Mario Brothers 3. I used to play this on the NES with my mom, and it wasn't super hard, but there was no save system. We'd stay up playing it, and then she'd try to get back to where we were the next day while I was at school and save all the items for me. Still, we never made it to Bowser. A few months ago, I finally beat it, and I felt so good about it. That's a great memory to play games
Oh,
with
absolutely.
your parents that were cool enough to play video games with you. Like
Yeah.
that was a good memory for me playing Super Mario Brothers 2 with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Super Mario Brothers 3 was a hard one to beat back in the day because there was no save system. And if you didn't use the warps, God, that game would take you forever.
Mm-hmm.
You had to use the warps. And let me get back to our thing here. And that's it for our lists. And man,
Nice.
that was a fun top 5 month.
We did it.
And we still have one more to go. So if you're interested and you're not a patron, we're going to be doing another secret top 5 list for our Patreon supporters coming up soon.
Secret top 5.
Yeah. Secret.
Real quick, the Barrel of Doom he was talking about, the only one that I could find was from Carnival Night Zone in Sonic 3, where you have to keep like pushing up and down on the D-pad to move this barrel that you're on. And a lot of times you couldn't get past it. And then the time would expire and you would die.
I don't like that. That doesn't sound fun.
Nope. As Michael Scott once said so famously, nope. Don't
Yep.
like that.
Don't like that. But yeah, next week, I guess, I think I'm going to review Lethal Weapon for the NES since I won that in an online auction a few weeks ago. So I think I'm going to review that. And I would like for us to actually watch Lethal Weapon maybe and do either a round table or a commentary track for it.
All right.
Because I'm in an 80s mood, man. I don't know what it is lately, but I want to just submerge myself in 80s stuff.
I'm up for some gunfire and some cheesy saxophone music.
Yeah. What do they call the saxophone, the sexy flute or whatever somebody called it.
Something like that, yeah. I just remember especially in the first movie, it would just pop up at random times, and I'm like, you know what? I kind of dig this.
Yeah, I like it. And Mushmouth says Sonic 3 ? So I guess it was Sonic 3.
That's the only thing that I've been able to find as far as a Barrel of Doom goes.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with Sonic 3 at all. So I wouldn't know.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's Sonic 3.
But yeah, I'll do Lethal Weapon next week for the NES, and then I'm gonna save. I did get the Warriors for PS2 not too long ago that I want to review, but I might save that for that feels like an October game for some reason. I don't know. It just screams October. I know we usually do horror games, but Warriors is kind of a horror game or a horror movie almost. It's got horror elements. You know, you're trapped in an unfamiliar place and everybody's trying to kill you. That's horror.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, I'll save that for October.
Yeah.
Maybe we can watch the movie too. I don't know, because like I said, I'm in the mood for some old stuff.
Yeah.
But Derek, before we get out of here, what's going on in your world?
So I haven't even said this to you, Wally, and Joey yet, but I have an idea for a YouTube video I'm going to make, and it has to do with retro games.
Ooh.
It probably won't be out for a couple of weeks, maybe like mid-September, but I am going to do how I would write the Legend of Zelda movie trilogy.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
I just got to combine all the resources and figure out exactly how I want to do it. But I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I kind of got the itch to make like some kind of video, and
Yeah.
I think that would be a good one.
Actually, Nick in the chat room just gave me an idea for October. I should do Condemned Criminal Origins, which was one of my favorite scary games for the Xbox 360. So I'm gonna look and see if it's available in the Microsoft Store. If it is, I'm gonna play that for October too.
Sweet.
One of those games where actually I got so scared at one point. There's a point where you're kind of going down into like a underground level, and there's some lockers. You know, it's one of those games where you like look in lockers and stuff and find, you know, things you need as you go through the game. And I went to
Yeah.
go look in the locker, and a lady jumped out and tried to kill me, and I threw my controller at the TV. And I had to turn the game off and turn all the lights on and go watch cartoons.
Just turn on SpongeBob
Yeah.
or something lighthearted.
But that sounds cool. I'm for that, Derek. That sounds fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I just gotta again figure out exactly how I want to do it. But that's something that you can expect on YouTube in the
Awesome.
next hopefully probably about a month. That's what I would say.
Mushmouth said, "I'll be damned. It was Sonic 3." But for the Open Micers podcast with me and Mr. Jacob Craig, last week we had a talk with Mr. Duncan Stone Street for his 5th time on the show, and it was one of my favorite episodes because it was just it went off the rails so many times. And just please go check it out, the Open Micers podcast at Open Micers Podcast on Instagram and Threads and all that good stuff. And go check it out, openmicers.com. So, Derek, is that everything before we get out of here?
I think so.
If you want to email us at nerdcaveretro@gmail.com. You can leave us a voice message at voicecast.app/NCR, and you don't have to sign up for anything. You don't have to give them any info or nothing. You just whatever microphone you have handy, whether it's your phone, computer, whatever, leave us a voice memo. We'll get it and play it on the show. And nerdcaveretro.com, that's our link tree, and that includes all of our socials, ways to give us money like Patreon, and of course the merch shop, which is at ncrmerch.com. We got all kind of designs for t-shirts, hats, magnets, bags, mugs, whatever your nerdy heart desires. And if you can't do that, I understand. Times are hard out there, everybody. Got tariffs and all that stuff. We're tariff free here at the show. But if you don't have any money, leave us a review wherever on all podcasting platforms. Derek, please tell them what it's all about.
May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce.
Yes.
Master Blaster runs Bartertown.
You blew it!
And that is our episode, everybody.
All right.
That was fun. Yeah, I really
Yeah.
want to play Condemned again if it's on Game Pass.
Oh, Nick says it is.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna have to get it then. It shouldn't be that expensive, I wouldn't think. I mean, it's like a 20-year-old game at this point. Oh yeah, he says
You can never tell.
it's a back compatible game, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for watching, and I'm going to play our little outro thing here. Thank you all for hanging out with us. This was a fun month, so thank you for doing the top 5 with us all month, and we'll be back next week with Lethal Weapon.